Okay, we're on. Hi, guys.
Hello, everybody. Want to tell them where we are?
All right, so we are in beautiful New Hampshire, Plymouth, and near Lincoln, Plymouth.
Plymouth?
Isn't it Plymouth?
Isn't it in Thomas?
I don't know. We're in Lincoln. We're in Nebraska. We're in New Hampshire, and
It's gorgeous.
it's insane. If you could see around, it's just quite the sight to see. This is our little. We spent here for about two.
Show them the cabin.
Oh, this is our cabin here. That's a little. Well, it's not a cabin. It's a lot. It's a cottage, and it's something really tiny, but it was really beautiful. It was really nice to get away, and
Peaceful. And we made our own fire last night. The first
we
time.
made our own fire.
We felt like grown-ups, like we made fire.
We made fire.
Just me and him. It was nice.
It was really cool, and we had some time to eat and explore. We zip lined
That was
yesterday. That was really fun, and we've had some really nice reflective moments. The sky at night is gorgeous. It looks very unreal.
Midnight sky.
I guess surreal. It looks surreal, and but dang, it is something to behold. Honestly, if you guys have never been here, highly recommend you guys come over here and look at the sky at night. It's the midnight sky.
Yeah.
Look at it.
And it was clear, no clouds.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
But the reason why we're making this video, this is not really something we like to do usually, but we knew that this was a necessary thing to do, and this is more of a testimonial regarding what had transpired the day of our wedding, and even the events leading up to the wedding, and even after the wedding, were all led by God, directed by the Holy Spirit. And Jeanette can tell you a little bit about her perspective, and then I can tell you a little bit about mine. So whoever, if you want to go first.
Yeah. Where do I start? I want to try not to cry, but since we got engaged in the spring this year, it's been what I waited for my entire life is find someone wonderful like Richard and embark on this new journey to compromiso and get engagement, and then leading up to marriage. We had an amazing wedding planner to join us. Christian would pray together before we start, and she's been super supportive.
Oh yeah.
Throughout the whole thing. Shout out to GD
And Belle.
who jumped in to last minute.
Yeah.
But we had chosen 3 words for our wedding day to have everything rotate around those things. First word was fun. We want our wedding to be fun, and then the second word was
stress-free.
Stress-free.
That's.
And lastly, our word that we picked out was presence, and we wanted God's presence to be in our wedding. So everything that didn't fit those categories would have to go, or anything that fit that category would be part of our wedding. So we started the search. We saw a couple of venues, but fell in love with this beautiful place called Pierce Farms in Topsfield, Massachusetts. Beautiful barn, very open nature, kind of like this one. A lot of green fields, trees, even some animals.
Yeah.
A fountain, and this mansion they have next door.
Yeah.
That you could get dressed, and there was like a room for the bride and a room for the groom, and the room for the family, and like a kitchen that you could cook, and you can be there the whole day. And we just had envisioned this amazing day.
Oh yeah.
And we started the journey, and even before we started the journey, a lot of things had been happening with my family specifically.
Yeah.
My brother early spring had an undiagnosable swelling inside his eyes that prevented him from seeing. He woke up one day and just couldn't see, and that was really scary and stressful. My cousin got into a jet ski accident with my
Yeah,
other
it
cousin
was
in
really
Mexico.
bad. Yeah.
So with every time those things would come up, I would tell Richard, like, let's not plan right now.
Yeah.
I don't have the mental capacity to keep planning and meeting and progressing these things. So it was, in fact, since the beginning, it was very stressful.
Yeah.
Just because all the things that were happening felt really overwhelming, and I have a very close family where, like, my cousins are like my siblings, and my aunts are like my moms, and my uncles are like my, so it was very hard struggling. How can I plan for a wedding when my brother can't see, or how can I, like, my cousin could die? And it's as the months kept going, the level of things that were taking place got worse. There were some things happening with my mom as well. It was really heart-wrenching. And then about 2.5 months ago, my father had been feeling some things. We did have an amazing time. We went to California. We met his family too in July.
Yeah.
And my siblings came, and we had this amazing bridal party that his mom threw us.
Yeah.
With our mariachi band. That was so much fun.
Yeah.
We almost felt like, man, we should have just gotten married here.
Yeah. Shout out to my mom for that.
Because that was really
beautiful.
great. Oh my gosh, such a memory, right?
Yeah.
And it was really nice because my mom, my dad, and my siblings were there, except my sister, my niece, and it was just a really great time. And we got to see Hollywood. And just 2 weeks after coming back from that trip, as you guys know, my father has lived with me and my brother for some time. And my father, who lives with me, was diagnosed with cancer. They started finding masses in his lungs. And then every week it would be a new layer of information. So then we found out that he had masses in his brain and heart, bones, and that it was stage 4, and that it was just, really bad. And things started becoming even more strenuous. Should we cancel the wedding? Should we keep going? Like, what's going to happen? In the course of a month, my father lost like almost 50 pounds.
Yeah.
Really frail. And it's just, I started to see like the need for the attention he needed, and thankfully they gave me from my job a medical leave that I could actually take care of him, which has been incredibly amazing, that I can attend to him even at nighttime, wake up 3-4 times in the middle of the night and check on him to make sure that he doesn't have pain. And then we were heading towards his first chemo. So basically, we decided, and we were approached by family members and people asking, hey, are you going to cancel the wedding? And we really felt, because all these things were happening this year, we said, no, we don't want to cancel the wedding because there's so many bad things happening around us.
Yeah.
And we said, like, part of us was like, our family needs this to, like, come together, celebrate, enjoy this moment. And if my father will, eventually pass away, like, at least we have that memory together with him, where we took pictures and videos and ate and drank and, like, celebrated this union. And we thought in our mind, we had been thinking in our mind, like, no, let's pursue this. Let's give it all the faith in the world that God can make this day possible for us. So although it's been really, I spent 2 weeks straight in the hospital with my dad, like in and out, many visits, ambulance trips, a lot of really bad moments with him, and to the point that he started using a wheelchair more and more. And we're pushing forward. We're going against what everybody's telling us, like, don't do this. He could be hospitalized, and we're like, no, if God can make the sun rise every day, he can make my dad well for the wedding, and he can give us this day. And so basically, like, the whole journey to our wedding has been like living on faith, living on hope, and living on just like preparing for the worst while also holding space for a miracle to happen. And a week before our wedding, my father was hospitalized, and we spent a week in the hospital. At that point, me and Richard were looking at things. It's like, okay, well, we should keep pursuing. We prayed about it.
We fasted. And we felt the Lord pushing us to keep going with the wedding.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like, we were like, 6 months into wedding planning, and we were taking hours even after her long days and my long days of working, like I work as a therapist, a psychotherapist, and that usually demands a lot of hours from the week, and it's very strenuous.
And it's an
It's
emotional,
very
heavy work. Yeah.
very emotionally demanding, and I would work 12 hours, and from 12 hours in a day, each day I would go straight to wedding planning for 3 hours, and we would invest so much of like.
And too, you would drive us to the hospital.
And I had to drive.
And we had also family show up because
every single week,
or even during the week coming up. So now we have to like clean the house because people are coming over, cook, or make sure we have groceries and make sure that people have what they need. And so it's just like on top of like taking care of dad 24/7, working really hard, wedding planning, attending to guests. It was just like so heavy.
Very, very heavy.
Needless to say, it was not stress-free at all.
No.
At all.
No.
A week before, when my dad was hospitalized, Richard and I decided, well, we should continue, but we should prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
And this is really heartbreaking, but we actually went back to our guest list and he said it would be easier to send home, if my father is hospitalized, send home a fewer people than having 100+ people at our wedding and have to send them home on the day of the wedding.
It would have been very inconvenient.
So sadly, and you guys know me, I have a lot of friends and I love people, and I have people from many churches that I hold dear to my heart, and friends that I really consider family. And we had to cut down the list, and we actually sent out a message to people saying, hey, we're in the middle of this crazy storm right now, and please forgive us, but we unfortunately will have to reduce the wedding to just immediate family. And we decided to honor friends that were traveling from other states coming, because
they had already
bought their tickets and made arrangements. And we had to cut down. So we cut down about almost 40 people to our wedding. We cut down a band. We wanted to get a mariachi
violinist.
We had that was a last minute change. So we cut down the list of things. We cut out a band. We had a jazz band that it would have been amazing. And we started cutting those things down. I was like, it's not gonna be like a happy joy day, because my father is really thin and he gets tired. He might not be able to walk. He's gonna be in a wheelchair.
Right.
We're accommodating like a chair for him to be comfortable in the venue, and still moving forward with like food and drinks and decorations. And we're so blessed to have Conce also like partaking, like helping us with like rentals from this really amazing place. And just like every desire that I had was coming together, like detail wise, for flowers,
everything,
centerpieces, decoration, table runners, and the barn itself was just like
gorgeous.
Just huge expectation for that day, on top of like faith, right? Dreaming this day would come for a long time with this wonderful man. And the week of the wedding, my father had been making so good progress.
He
was eating more. Like
he was walking.
This guy had not eaten a solid piece of food in weeks, guys. And my dad, I have a video of him with a bone and the chicken, just literally ripping it out. And he was up and about the days before. In previous months, I had told him, let's go get your suit fitted. Well, he was feeling sick. He's like, for what? What are you doing? Don't bother me. I'm dying. And he was very expressive about how he felt throughout the whole time.
Yeah.
And 2 days before, like a couple of days during that week before the wedding, he says, yes, let's go try on a suit. So we take him and we try this suit on. My brother had given him a haircut. He looks so good. He was gonna be, I'm sorry, you could look good, but like my father was gonna be so cute with his cute suit.
Yeah, he would have stood out.
We found the right shoes for him, and we bought him a suit. He was ready, wedding ready, and also like spiritually, he was also being super supportive to us. I want to be there. I want pray to God that he gives me the opportunity to walk you down the aisle. And every time I would feel discouraged because I would see his health decline, maybe a day or two later he would tell me, I'm praying to God that he gives me that opportunity to walk you down the aisle and be with you guys. I want to be there. I want to show up, And Guys, it got crazy. Our wedding was scheduled for Friday, October 29. And on Thursday, October 28th, my father had a crisis around 5:30 in the morning. He started to have some tremors on his right arm. They looked like seizures. And basically, he had like 2 episodes before I realized that. He was sleeping in the living room unlike usual. He usually sleeps in his room, and I have like a baby monitor. I have like a baby monitor monitoring my father, and I wake up in the middle of the night 3 or 4 times to watch him. And yeah, he was sleeping in the living room, so I wasn't really monitoring him that well because the monitor was not there. But my mom, who happened to spend that week with us, got up and found him having the seizure like tremors. And when I got up and I saw him, and he's telling me that he almost died and that he's having this thing. I said, okay, talk to me. And I see his mouth is not even. I am asking him to raise his arm. His right arm doesn't go up higher than this. And I'm like, oh my God, is having a stroke. So we call 911. We rush him to the hospital. And there we go. Everything just started falling apart.
Yeah.
We get on the ambulance, and my heart was just like literally in my hands, like, Lord, like, you need to make me strong because I don't have what it takes right now. And then I saw him have another tremor on the ambulance. And I think I've seen my father decline because I've been with him. He lives with me, so I've seen him decline from like being perfectly healthy, having a little belly, and like eating and cooking his own food, to like not wanting to eat, not wanting to drink, not having energy, to having a seizure like in front of me and having a tremor. And that was really, I was like, God, you need to give me strength because I cannot do this on my own. And we get to the hospital, and they're analyzing him. And they said, oh, he didn't have a stroke. He is having internal bleeding from one of his tumors on his head, and it's bleeding, and it's causing him to have the tremors. So they said, oh, it could be mediated with some medicine. Maybe you guys could go home. But then hours later, I found out that he needed to have emergency surgery. So now we're talking Thursday night, and our wedding is scheduled Friday. Basically, we have to be there at 9:30 in the morning to get the show on the road. And I call Richard, and I just say to him, like, I don't know what we're gonna do. I think that it's unlikely that my dad is gonna go home. And on Wednesday we had dropped off everything at the farm. We had everything ready to go, smooth. And Thursday was supposed to be my spa day, like nails and hair and like massage and preparing all like the beauty things for the bride on that day. And here I am, like at 11:15 p.m. and I'm being told my father needs emergency brain surgery. So at that point, we had Richard's family from California here already, my family arriving from New Jersey, DR, friends flying in from all over the country, and it's just really heartbreaking. We had to decide to, we were like, we'll have to cancel this. And
that was hard.
It was really hard because we were ready, 99% ready. All we had to do is literally show up. And we decided that same night. We called our wedding planner. We said, hey, this is just happening. My father's gonna have emergency brain surgery, likely Friday, the day of my wedding. And I think the only thing we couldn't really cancel was food. Flowers were already purchased, and we had been honest with our vendors too, our photographer, videographer. Everybody kind of knew the situation we were in, and that we were really going by faith and going forward, and that we could call them any moment and say, hey, we gotta back out of everything because of the situation. And we did. We just asked, and it was easier, believe it or not, like sending to the people that we had decided to keep, and our friends that were traveling and family. It was easier to say to them, hey, we're not gonna have the wedding at Pierce Farms. We're not gonna go on with any of this. We're just gonna have the food together, and just spend some quality time with you guys.
That was the plan.
And so GD came on board. She came in the same day, Thursday night, and she walked over on the 6th floor like lounge area, and she even the chef Julian came, and they prepared and they coordinated everything. Okay, how are we gonna be in the food? How can we arrange the space? We got the rental, like in the same building I live in, and basically we had like everybody show up in regular clothes, just to celebrate this. We called the pastor and say, Pastor Regis, we still want you to marry us, even if it's not like walking down the aisle in this wearing a wedding dress. And everything. We had bridesmaids, cute flower girls. My nephew, man, he was gonna look so cute in his suit.
Everybody.
Isaac, yeah.
Yeah.
And nobody wore their clothes. No one wore their suits or their bridesmaid dresses. And I was telling Richard, I was really heartbroken since the morning on that day, because you dreamed so much. We had dreamed so much, and in a way, we got the opposite of what we had asked.
Yeah.
Or of the things that we had, some of the things that we had asked for, we didn't get. Like that we were navigating towards, we didn't get, which was like stress-free and fun. It was not fun. And I was telling Richard my reason for deciding to cancel the wedding, because I could have had one of my brothers walking me down the aisle, was saying, I'm going to be so vulnerable walking down an aisle with friends and family on both ends, everybody staring at me. And I thought to myself, like, my goal that day was look at Richard and see this wonderful man I'm about to marry, and I'm not going to be thinking about Richard, and I'm not going to be thinking about us, and my heart is broken. So I was like, I don't want to put myself in that position where people are staring at me and I'm just so vulnerable and heartbroken that I'm not going to be happy. It's not going to be a happy memory walking down the aisle to my wonderful husband. And I just said, I can't put myself in that position.
Yeah.
And we just carried forward with like meeting at this place, and they actually decorated pretty well with some of the flowers. My friend Stacy made this beautiful like artwork hanging thing with lights, and they decorated it in there. The pastor came, my family was there. Actually, my two siblings, two of my brothers were in the hospital with my dad, and everybody was there. My aunts were there, and then I think maybe half an hour before I went down, Richard comes to me and he tells me, hey, do you want to put on your wedding dress, because the pastor is going to marry us today? And I said no. And I struggle with that so much, because I was like, I don't want to build this memory with such pain in my heart. And I didn't want to, I don't want it to be, and also, if I put on the wedding dress, this is going to be it. I'm not going to push forward to having this day again. It's going to be box check. When you got married, you wore your dress already, then and over. And I was like, no, I waited for this moment my whole life.
Yeah.
So I actually put the dress on, and I took it off, at least 2 times. Because I was I was fighting so much. I was I don't feel happy. I don't feel joy. I'm going to be crying, and I'm going to be crying the whole time because I feel so broken, because I dreamed this moment would be with my father and he would walk me down the aisle. And at one point I was really just sobbing, and Richard came in and he said something really powerful to me. And he said, this is we were married civilly already, and this is for Jesus. People, you can get married civilly and still be married. You're married, and before the Lord, you're married. But I think what we were seeking, Richard and I, is to honor God with the holy matrimony and receive the blessing from an ordained pastor, Pastor Regis, who has been was my pastor for many, many years, and I consider him like a father figure in my faith, And he said to me, this is just honoring God. This is. Everything else is just everything else, but the really what makes this moment a moment is the fact that we're putting ourselves before God and asking Him to bless our marriage, and we wanted that. And when he said that to me, I was like, well, all we need for that is a pastor and just us. So then I said, you know what? I put in my dress. I had my hair curly, like a crazy afro, like I wear every day. I never thought I would be wearing my dress with that. My niece, Roani, did my makeup in the bathroom while I was fighting tears. She like gave me 3 or 4 breaks to let me cry while she did my makeup. And I cried and I cried and I was so heartbroken. And I asked my mom to put her dress on, and we walked in together into the launch room in our building. And I think my aunts were also like, my aunt Altagracia, she was like, oh, put on your dress. And I was like, no, I can't put on my dress. I'm not gonna wear my dress. I was like angry, like I'm not putting on my dress. Like I'm just gonna wear whatever. Don't have expectations. Like I'm just I can't do it, you know. And then I put the dress on, and I went and I was walking down the hallway with my mom. I had a really good moment with her. She encouraged me big time. She encouraged me, and she told me, like, you know, for your civil wedding in September, your dad was able to walk you down, even if it was in the park and not many people, but he was able to walk you down, and he could walk. He was healthy. Like I thought he was bad shape then, but compared to how he is right now. And she said to me, she encouraged me, and we walked in the room, and no one in the room was expecting me to be wearing the dress.
No.
Richard he decided to wear his tux last minute too. He also was wearing his tux, so he was looking really, really good. And when I walked in, you could hear the room, people just crying, and like, you know, you could hear the whole room just like, it was like a background of like tears, because it was just really unexpected to see me wearing a dress, and like not the day that we had dreamed and even invited people to come and join us for. And so we got married, and we received the blessing from Pastor Regis, and he prayed for us, and we were able to, and in that moment, I was still confounded within myself. Like I was looking at my niece wearing just regular clothes, and my sister not wearing her dress, and like everybody were just wearing like everyday clothes, and it hurt me like deep, and it was painful. But there was this happiness, not happiness per se, it was not happiness, there was this joy that came about in our hearts. And funny enough, we had invited our guests to learn these few songs, to worship songs, and we started singing. My friend Anita brought her guitar. My friends knew some of the songs already, and we just started worshiping God. We ate, we married, and we worshiped. And that was our wedding. And I could tell you this, like I was not happy. And I have cried the most I have cried in the last 6 months, just on that single day. But on Sunday, Pastor Senso at Impact Church was preaching about consider it joy when you go through troubles and you experience
hardship.
Hardship. Consider it joy. And it really clarified in my heart what I felt that day, because I felt joy even if I didn't feel happiness. Like nothing went the way that we wanted it to go.
It didn't.
But we were stripped down from stress-free and fun to just presence and family and food.
That's all he had.
And it was like the level of the presence of God in that room
was insane. It was so intense.
Amazing. Like even people that don't believe and they don't consider themselves Christians, they said that they felt this room just be a total different atmosphere. And it was just really great. And I was telling Richard, and I was like, you know, for almost a week now, I haven't shared anything on social media because I was confounded in my emotions. How can I share this if this was not the day that I dreamt of? How can I share this if it's not my happy moment? And I've actually cried the most out of all the last 6 months today. How could I share this? And I wasn't clear with it, but I am really grateful to know that God gave us joy, and that although all the circumstances took our happiness away, we had a genuine smile
Yeah.
and a genuine feeling inside our hearts.
Yeah.
To know that one, my dad accepted Christ, that we had a lot of closure with him to tell him what we feel for him and what he means for us. We've been able to know that he got baptized, he's in peace, and he is still fighting with cancer and still fighting all the things that are coming to him physically, but spiritually he is so strong. He's at peace. He's ready to go with the Lord, and I'm really happy that I get to share that. And although this hurts, but I'm also at peace, and I'm also joyful knowing that I will see him again when he goes. And so I think that was his consolation. How do you say that? Like consolidation?
Consolidation?
Consolidation, is that what you say? Because many people out there in the world experience similar things, but they don't have joy because they don't have God in their lives. And the world will always throw curveballs at you. You will always have heartache and unhappiness and all these things. And the enemy can steal your happiness just like this by changing the situation, right? Happiness depends on happenings.
Yeah. So
But our joy did not depend on the happenings.
No.
Or even on the happiness, right? Our joy was really depending on the Lord.
That's it.
And
He came through
so
for
we're
us.
super happy to share
Yeah.
our joyful wedding day.
Yeah.
We'll be sharing some pictures of what that looked like. We want to apologize to our friends who couldn't share it with us.
Yeah.
We're giving it up to God. God, if it's your will for us to enjoy a celebration, then you will provide the time and space, the funds to make it all happen.
Yeah.
But until then, we're happy to share that we're happily married.
We are.
We have joy in our hearts. It's been a very, very difficult season.
Yeah.
But I couldn't think of a better time to be married to such a man of God that is so supportive, so caring, and so cute. So I'm really blessed to be with him and to have shared that moment with his family and my family as well. And we're grateful. We're grateful to share this with you. And I pray for you today that no matter what circumstances you're experiencing right now, whether it's health issues with yourself or your family or accidents and things that are just coming at you, I pray a special blessing of Jesus' love to your heart that will fill you with joy that cannot be taken away by the circumstances. I pray that you will get to know what that is like we did on that day.
Yeah.
That we weren't happy, but we were smiling.
Yeah.
And there was peace in our hearts that day.
Oh yeah.
So our prayer is that you too can take part in that joy of the Lord that doesn't depend on anything else but just his presence. And we're happy to say that even if God allowed to strip away everything else that was really not necessary for that moment, that his presence was the only thing we needed and the best thing that we got to share on that day.
Amen.
So we love you guys. I don't know if you want to share something else.
Took the words right out of my mouth, guys. I think, yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. Everything that she said is exactly what I would say. So you heard it. And yeah, I'm in agreement with that prayer. And till next time, we're going to share these videos and all these things. Honeymoon, even the honeymoon was like up and down, up and down.
Oh, yeah, because the night of the honeymoon, I was at the hospital at 6 in
Yeah.
the morning because my dad's surgery was scheduled for Saturday morning. So
Yeah.
we've had an intermittent local honeymoon.
Yeah.
Where if somebody, I need to take my dad to the hospital, I could be like less than 10 minutes away to be there to translate. And
Yeah.
so,
But in these moments, though, we've had a lot of, just like what Janelle was saying, we've had a lot of joy, a lot of peace that God has given us. And it was a blessing just to be here in New Hampshire.
yeah, the furthest we've been from that, but it's been super nice.
Oh, it's been amazing. And we also went to the Encore, and having like all this good food was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So yeah, enjoy the Lord, everybody.
Yeah. Seriously, guys, you need this because life is going to throw curveballs. every day. So get yourself some good quality, God-given joy in your hearts.
Yeah.
And He will sustain you. He's our strength. It's the joy of the Lord is our strength, and we're living that right now.
We are.
Through tears and through battles and through heartache, we're experiencing the joy of the Lord. So we want that for you.
We pray that for you guys.
Amen.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.